Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Vox, and with our previous episode explaining why we think Jasper could be the final villain of Steven Universe, today I want to touch on what exactly that storyline would look like, because after going back through Jasper's past events, looking at everything that was stated behind the scenes, and the hypothetical trajectory of the series' future, I do believe we can figure out just what could happen, and it actually ties into an older theory that I had a few months ago, closer to the beginning of the year. I believe our big buff Cheeto Puff could really bring the series full circle, waving the perfect middle finger at her diamond, unfolding in something so crazy, I would be disappointed if they did anything else. And let me just issue a spoiler warning, in case you potentially haven't seen the movie yet, or you're not caught up on the series, or anything here comes to fruition and you don't want to know anything about the future. With that out of the way, let's dive in. So now that we've established all the motivations for Jasper to remain an antagonist, the fact that she hates herself, that she views Steven as manipulative, thus her perception of Change Your Mind's events may just all be chalked up to, man, he got to the diamonds! And that the movie established that Steven will be a bit more willing to engage in combat going forward, as long as it's still in the name of self-defense, taking away a bully's ability to hurt him. Now we just have to figure out what would be her plan to take down Steven and the Crystal Gems once and for all. Because again, out of any character to reject Era 3 and all the changes brought by Steven, it would flat out be Jasper. Well, to be blunt, I think we already saw Jasper's plan before. At least a smaller, way less practical version of it. I believe Jasper will try to build her own army. Calling back to what I just said a minute ago, I touched on before that perhaps a future antagonist in the series could actually be multiple antagonists of gems who aren't down with Era 3. But who could be the face of that? A brand new gem we've never seen before? An antagonist who got to leave an impression on us but we don't really know that much about, like Aquamarine? Or an established antagonist who's already had plenty of screen time, whose story arc felt as if they were only just beginning? That would probably be the best fit, And wouldn't you know, Jasper fits that bill perfectly. Just from a thematic sense, the series would really come full circle. Jasper was the first real antagonist we had in Steven Universe. I know I already mentioned this, but just to reiterate it, Peridot just wanted to fulfill her mission. Lapis just wanted to go back home. Jasper was on the hunt for revenge, which is why after her initial plan falls apart, on top of being rejected by Lapis, Jasper just goes completely AWOL, collecting corrupted gems and trying to tame them, using them against Steven. And yeah, while that plan didn't necessarily work out, it was because Jasper got herself corrupted, becoming desperate enough to force herself upon a corrupted gem. It is still worth noting, Jasper was capable of rounding up these mindless beasts and forcing them to do her bidding. Yeah, ultimately a lot of them ended up escaping, but both Biggs and Ocean Jasper fell victim. Ocean Jasper ended up running away, but it doesn't really undermine that for a period of time, they were still obeying Jasper's every command. And side note, in case you were already wondering, wouldn't the diamonds just be able to stop Jasper? Or really more so, wouldn't Jasper want to obey the diamonds? That entire arc in Season 3 saw Jasper throw her regards for the diamonds out of the window. The moment she became fusion crazy, trying to reforge Malachite and forcing herself onto corrupted gems, was the moment she really stopped caring about what the diamonds thought, that she was already following her own warped moral code. But back on topic, if she can somewhat tame gems when they're in this mindless state, or at least a state where they're really unable to communicate, what would Jasper do in a setting where gems already respect and listen to her? And that takes me to my next point. Jasper has influence. Again, mentioned this in the last video, but in the early days of the Steven Universe podcast, we learned, according to Rebecca Sugar, that Jasper is hailed as a celebrity on Homeworld, which really didn't mean much at the time, but think about how important that nugget of information is now. By being hailed as a celebrity, Jasper innately has reach. She already has an audience of gems who are impressionable, who would be impacted by the things she does and says. I mean, just look at the rubies. When Amethyst was just impersonating Jasper, they were eating everything she said up, following her every word and getting rather ticked off when they were betrayed. And yeah, while their gullibility was the fault of them being rubies, don't associate gullibility with passion. The things Eyeball was saying about Jasper had to originate from somewhere, i.e. Homeworld, likely by many different cuts of gems and many different rankings, many different courts, all whom admire Jasper. And guess what? Entering a new era of Homeworld where things are a lot more relaxed and peaceful, it doesn't mean that gems are going to recognize weaponize toxic behavior in the people they already were fond of. If tons of people already admire Jasper and look up to her, why in the hell would they stop just because the diamonds are saying, oh, you're free? Steven Universe draws from a lot of real-life influences and problems. And not to get political at all, I don't think it's controversial to say that things used to be a lot worse than what they are now, but there are large groups of people out there who would want things to revert back to how they used to be. And that could go for anything awful that's ever happened to humans. And not to mention, now that she's pro-fusion, Jasper won't seem as bigoted as she truly is. In fact, I think Jasper can use that to her advantage. Jasper can parade around declaring, "Fusion's great, but the rest of this is all a trick. That Steven Universe is ruining Homeworld, distracting everyone from their intended purpose so he can control them." Or, something along those lines. Maybe not a Saturday morning cartoon villainy, but you guys get the idea. Jasper's influence among Homeworld can change everything. And as for the events of the movie mattering into the future, consider the following. What would happen when Jasper's rebellion meets pushback? I don't think every single Gems is gonna listen to Jasper, but those who are thinking, I kind of felt the same way about all these changes, would definitely stand with her. And some may think, oh, I didn't think of it like that before. But yeah, I used to have all these nice things and now I gotta share it with everybody. I feel as if after a while, if not immediately, Jasper can almost pull a white diamond, using a rejuvenator on a reformed gem. As Bismuth said, the rejuvenators were made to send gems right back to where they emerged. So any happy-go-lucky, peace-loving gem that gets hit by one of those things, yeah, suddenly they're a new member of Jasper's army. And this army could be comprised of many antagonists that we've seen throughout the series. Like seriously, Aquamarine, Blue Agate, Emerald, those are all gems that wouldn't surprise me if they decided, yeah, I think I would like staying bad. I'm gonna stick with this Jasper. Something else that would be great about exploring this plotline is that it would give the Crinerverse a chance to give proper farewells to characters that really kind of just faded into obscurity. The Rubies, Blue Agate, Emerald, Aquamarine, Topaz. Once the story arc they're a part of is finished, their characters are gone as well, but it never actually felt like the last time we were supposed to see them. Topaz definitely felt like she was at the beginning of an arc, and in a scenario like this, I can see her fighting on the Crystal Gem side for sure. Emerald kinda just only had one episode, which I found awkward, especially because she is a high-ranking gem, and the Rubies had such consistent appearance since season 3 that you would definitely expect a bigger payoff with them. Of course, I'm giving the Crinerverse the benefit of the doubt, that they left all these characters as loose plot threads, so that way if they were able to get another season after Change Your Mind, which the proof is beyond the pudding at this point, they'd be able to get them satisfying endings. And I can see all of their roles perfectly. Jasper being the leader of the army, Emerald as a second in command, Aquamarine being a spy of sorts, scouting Little Homeworld and Beach City for intel, any possible way to breach their security, which wouldn't be too far off from how Aquamarine started in the episode Are You My Dad? You can have the Rubies as just generic henchmen or soldiers. Come on, their devotion to Jasper has to have payoff. And they can continue to introduce new gems while still holding an air of tension that accompanies such a thing. Not to mention, this is the perfect bookend for the series. Steven's mother raised a rebellion against herself. So for another rebellion to rise for all the opposite reasons Pink Diamond waged a war against someone Jasper still may believe is Rose Quartz, although I can see Jasper accepting that Pink Diamond rose Rose Quartz and just seeing Pink Diamond as evil, pushing Jasper's own self-hatred even more, it would lead to a really awesome parallel. And yeah, it would be insane if somehow the Diamonds also got hit with a rejuvenator and they were sent back to square one. Or maybe that would be way too easy. Or maybe only one Diamond gets hit, like Yellow, and then we have to have White and Blue try to bring Yellow back. Or maybe it's just White and we get an entire season of her as a proper villain like a lot of people wanted. And I'm not gonna lie, it would just be great to get an actual gem war in the show. One that we get to experience, and something that I felt was always teased but never really came full circle. Now's the chance. But as always, these are just my thoughts and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Do you think Jasper could start her own rebellion? Why or why not? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at ARTWITHKODA. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. ARTWITHKODA signing out.